how to explain STEM concepts in non-STEM terms. And I'll just give you a little hint right off the bat. It's through people. Okay, people are the connectors, and we often think of STEM as a sort of a remote, abstracted kind of fields and maybe inaccessible. We know that they're perceived as inaccessible to many of our underserved populations, maybe even ourselves. And that's in a way an unconventional idea. We don't normally associate people with STEM fields. We think of it as more, well, math is sort of abstract. It maybe reflects of natural law, or science is natural laws. And in some ways, STEM fields, technology may be inaccessible for various reasons. But STEM endeavors really are human endeavors, and they really are social endeavors. So if you actually start to think about it this way, it'll help you communicate concepts to people a little bit more readily. I studied, you can see all these books behind me. When I was in graduate school, I studied literature. So people are inquisitive by nature, especially young people. So when they start to question, you want to foster questioning. That is one of the keys to scientific. It is the essence of the scientific process. And when somebody is asking a question, it starts a dialogue, right? So then maybe you're teaching or you're volunteering, and you want to engage them in dialogue. You don't just answer the question and necessarily shut it down. It doesn't end there, because science involves an entire process of inquiry. And in fact, you ask a question, maybe you make a little bit of a progress toward an answer, and then another question emerges, and on and on and on. And that is the scientific process. So dialoguing and fostering inquiry and questions in general involve communication. So already you've got people, you've got multiple people, and this can help model and practice. They're not used to the way we talk about certain subjects, and mathematical thinking may in and of itself be a remote kind of esoteric concept. So linking mathematical thinking to creativity and to art specifically, which it is, mathematical thinking is highly creative. Sounds strange, but it's true. Then that might open a door for people who, feel they are having difficulty accessing math or grasping it, or, moving forward in it, which, as my friend Sarah and my other friends at K through 12 STEM Center have telling me that that's a big problem. So they have the data and they have the research to support that. So this might give you a way out in terms of sharing mathematical thinking or communicating about mathematical thinking. Three key aspects of well-being are identity, purpose, and agency. Okay, so identity is just a sense of who you are and your place in the world. That's what we mean by identity. Purpose is sort of the why, why you're doing what you're doing. You want to always have a larger purpose. I'm volunteering because I want to impact people's lives, for the better. Or maybe I want to fulfill, my desire to connect with people, or something like that. You always have some kind of why behind your action. And when you have purpose behind your action, this is incredibly helpful in life. It's incredibly inspiring, and you're motivated. It keeps you kind of keeps your motivation sustained and sustainable. You have a sense of purpose. And this is a real key to well-being. And then finally, agency. Agency is a little bit of, it sounds a little bit of a more difficult term, but it basically just means the capacity to act almost like upon your own free will, like to be able to make choices and to be able to make choices independently, or independent of certain structural constraints. And by structural constraints, I mean things like that we struggle with people that we're helping and people that we're volunteering, that they struggle with. We all struggle with to a certain extent, but things like your gender, your maybe your identity as perceived by others, your socioeconomic status, things like that. So agency is your ability to kind of act without being constrained by those things. You don't necessarily, it means you're not necessarily subject to your culture or your something that is structural and something that you really can't do anything about. Okay, so that's what a sense of agency is. All right, inspire purpose. Okay, one of the ways that you inspire purpose is try to tap in. Now, I focus this on students, but they're learners. They're just in general learners. Tap into students' motivations to cultivate a sense of purpose. What is motivating people? Are they trying to help others? Are they trying to create something new? The more you kind of know about your STEM learners' motivations, the more you can kind of help them cultivate a sense of purpose. Okay, using engaging visuals can really, really help with this. This is something I've been trying in my own classroom STEM outreach project, and that is showing the results of things like mathematical thinking, showing it as an art. Look at this technology. It's photographed in a certain way, it looks like an art object, and really extracting the kind of creativity of it. This can seem very counterintuitive, math and creativity, but they're actually very, very connected. I'll show you a video about that in a minute. But showing the kind of creative results of mathematical thinking can be a great way to enliven math. Math is such a hard subject for people. This last kind of key piece of well-being agency, I've given you the definition again here. It's develop the capacity to act independently and make choices free from certain structural constraints, things that we can't necessarily help or control. Things like our cultural background, our socioeconomic status and the like, and that's often a barrier. A barrier to access and a barrier to being able to explain and communicate STEM and share, the benefits of STEM with others. So a couple of ways that you can explain concepts this way is empower people with language and other resources. But language is really, really important. In the surface learning project I do in my classroom, we want to share the broader, aspects of STEM and not just, we want people to participate in it, not just to consume technology or use it or be, in that sort of passive role. We want them to actually be able to create, direct, and shape technology, develop it. So there are many organizations that do this. I've put one up on the next slide, which you've probably heard of, called Curiosity Machine. But it's the idea there is to empower with resources that are free, just low cost free resources to kind of engage, to broaden participation. always empower technology with a human-centered purpose. Never forget the human aspect of it. Technology is not something that's out there independent of humanity. It's obviously integral to humanity, and we need to always be aware of what its purpose is, and it needs to be human-centered. Technology is a human endeavor. Okay, so that, if you understand that, then things can sort of move from there. All right. This is the mission of the Curiosity Machine. Are people aware of this wonderful organization, the Curiosity Machine? Okay, this can be a good resource for you. And their mission is to empower children and their families. I like that they engage the whole family to become leaders and innovators of the future. So what they're trying to do is really empower people to participate in and create technology. And then this is the mission of the Service Learning Project that I have going in my own Writing 340 curriculum. And I've shared a couple of the outputs here. But I want to thank you all so much. Knowing more about your organization and what you're doing has actually made an impact on me. And I'm happy to help you. Like I said, I will share resources, follow up with more. You're welcome to email me, Myra. You're welcome to share my email if they don't already have it. And I really want to do more to help your organization. I think it's wonderful what you're doing. And from all of us at the team here, and really myself and all of us at Viterbi, thank you so much for making an impact. Thank you. And thanks for having me today.
Thank you so much.